Hello everyone, welcome to Excel Education. So let us begin our daily current affairs MCQ. Hope you liked the earlier videos, and with this hope, let us begin our today's video. So the topics we are going to cover in today's daily current affairs MCQ are United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, Kafala System, Tuting Tiding Secure Zone, Operation Breeding Space, Caspian Sea, Project Green Egg, Golden Langur, Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium, Draft Defense Acquisition Procedure 2020, and Janobots. So let us begin with the first question. With reference to United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, consider the following. Statement 1. It was established in 1991 to strengthen the international response to complex emergencies and natural disasters. Statement 2. It is the successor to the Office of the United Nations Disaster Relief Coordinator. Which of the statements given above are incorrect? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. Option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this is option D, neither 1 nor 2, which means both the statements are correct. So let us learn some facts about United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs is a United Nations body. It was established in 1991 to strengthen the international response to complex emergencies and natural disasters. It is the successor to the Office of the United Nations Disaster Relief Coordinator. Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs mandate was subsequently broadened to include coordinating humanitarian response, policy development, and humanitarian advocacy. OCHA organized the 2016 World Humanitarian Summit in Istanbul, Turkey. It is a sitting observer in the United Nations Development Group. The headquarters is based in two locations, New York and Geneva. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following correctly defines the Kafala system? Option A, a sponsorship system of work permit in West Asia. Option B, a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Jordan. Option C, a regional currency swap agreement among Gulf countries. Option D, a market union of Gulf Cooperation Council. The correct answer for this is option A, a sponsorship system of work permit in West Asia. The Kafala system emerged in the 1950s to regulate the relationship between employers and migrant workers in many countries in West Asia. It remains the routine practice in the Gulf Cooperation Council GCC countries of Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, and also in the Arab states of Jordan and Lebanon. Under the Kafala system, a migrant worker's immigration status is legally bound to an individual employer or sponsor for their contract period. The migrant worker cannot enter the country, transfer employment, nor leave the country for any reason without first obtaining explicit written permission from the kafil. The worker must be sponsored by a kafil in order to enter the destination country and remains tied to this kafil throughout their stay. Some countries claim to abolish or reform the kafala, but the system's most critical vulnerabilities still remain. Moving on to the next question. Where is the Tuting Tiding Secure Zone located? Option A, Eastern Himalayan. Option B, Deccan Plateau. Option C, Tarim Basin. Option D, Hindu Kush Himalayan region. The correct answer for this is option A, Eastern Himalayan. The Tuting Tiding Secure Zone is a major part of the Eastern Himalaya, where the Himalaya takes a sharp southward bend and connects with the Indo-Burma Range. A study by the Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology and Autonomous Institute of the Department of Science and Technology exploring the elastic properties of rocks and seismicity in this easternmost part of India revealed that the area is generating moderate earthquakes at two different depths. Low magnitude earthquakes are concentrated at 1 to 15 km depth and slightly greater than 4 magnitude earthquakes are mostly generated from 25 to 35 km depth. The intermediate depth is devoid of seismicity and coincides with the zone of fluid or partial melts. This part of the Arunachal Himalayas has gained significant importance in recent times due to the growing need of constructing roads and hydropower projects, making the need for understanding the pattern of seismicity in this region critical. Map depicting Tooting Tiding Secured Zone has been provided. Heading to the next question, Operation Breathing Space is associated with option A, India and Israel, option B, Pakistan and China, option C, India and China, option D, US and Russia. The correct answer for this is option A, India and Israel. Operation Breathing Space. Israeli team led by a high-ranking research and development defense official and DRDO to develop rapid testing for COVID-19. The test that the Israeli teams will be conducting trials for include an odor test, a breath test, thermal testing, and a polyamino test, which seeks to isolate proteins related to COVID-19. Heading to the next question, which of the following countries share border with the Caspian Sea? Option 1, China, option 2, Iran, option 3, Turkey. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Option A, 1 and 2 only, option B, 2 only, option C, 1 and 3 only, option D, all of the above. The correct answer for this is option B, 2 only, which is Iran. The Caspian Sea is the world's largest inland water body. It covers roughly 143,200 square miles and borders 5 countries: Iran, Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan and Azerbaijan. Moving on to the next question, consider the following statements regarding the Project Green Egg. Statement 1, it is funded by the Global Environment Facility. Statement 2, it is an India-specific project to mainstream biodiversity, climate change and sustainable land management. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A, 1 only, option B, 2 only, option C, both 1 and 2, option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this is option C, both 1 and 2. Both the statements are correct. Green Egg is a Global Environment Facility funded project to catalyze transformative change of India's agricultural sector to support achievements of national and global environmental benefits and conservation of critical biodiversity and forest landscapes. It seeks to mainstream biodiversity, climate change and sustainable land management objectives and practices into Indian agriculture. The Green Egg project is funded by the Global Environment Facility through its 6th funding cycle. The Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare is the national executing agency and the Food and Agriculture Organization is the designated Global Environment Facility implementing agency. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change is the Global Environment Facility operational focal point and coordinates all GEF projects in the country. Recently, it was launched in Mizoram. Other states covered under the project are Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Rajasthan, and Uttarakhand. Heading to the next question, consider the following statements regarding golden langur. Statement 1, it is one of the most endangered primitive species of India. Statement 2, it is found only in India. Statement 3, they are listed in the Appendix 1 of CITES and Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Which of the above statements are correct? Option A, 1 and 2, option B, 2 and 3, option C, 1 and 3, option D, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer for this is option C, 1 and 3. Geese golden langur, also known as the golden langur, is an old world monkey found in a small region of western Assam, India and in the neighboring foothills of the Black Mountains of Bhutan. It is one of the most endangered primitive species of India. They are listed in Appendix 1 of Sites and Schedule of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. This golden langur is currently endangered with the current population trend as decreasing. The region of its distribution are very small. The main region is limited to an area approximately 60 miles square bounded on the south by the Brahmaputra River, on the east by the Manas River, on the west by the Sankos River, all in Assam, and on the north by the Black Mountains of Bhutan. Moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium. Statement 1. Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium is an autonomous society promoted by Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare. Statement 2. Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium was established to facilitate agribusiness ventures by catalyzing private investment through Venture Capital Assistance Scheme. Statement 3. SFAC is the lead agency for implementing National Agriculture Market Electronic Trading Platform. Which of the above statements are correct? Option A 1 and 2, option B 1 and 3, option C 2 and 3, option D 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer for this is option D 1, 2 and 3. All the above statements are correct. The government established Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium as a society in January 1994 to facilitate agribusiness venture by catalyzing private investment through Venture Capital Assistance Scheme in close association with financial institutions. Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium is an autonomous society promoted by Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India. It is registered under Societies Registration Act 1860. The main functions of SFAC are promotion of development of small agribusiness through Venture Capital Assistance Scheme, helping formation and growth of farmer-producer organization or farmer-producer companies, improving availability of working capital and development of business activities of farmer-producer organization or farmer-producer companies through equity grant and credit guarantee fund scheme, implementation of National Agriculture Market Electronic Trading Platform. Heading to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the Draft Defense Acquisition Procedure 2020. Statement 1. Ministry of Defense is to notify a list of weapons or platforms banned for import. Statement 2. Leasing has been introduced as a category for acquisition in addition to the existing buy and make acquisition categories. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A 1 only, option B 2 only, option C both 1 and 2, option D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this is option C both 1 and 2. Both the statements are correct. The Draft Defense Acquisition Procedure 2020 has been released by the government. It states that with a view to promote domestic and indigenous industry and align the defense acquisition procedure with the reforms enunciated in the Atmanirbhar Abhiyan, the Ministry of Defense will notify a list of weapons or platforms banned for import, updated from time to time. Leasing has been introduced as another category for acquisition in addition to the existing buy and make acquisition categories, as it provides for an innovative technique for financing of equipment or platforms. Leasing provides means to possess and operate the asset without owning the asset and is useful to substitute huge initial capital outlays with periodical rental payments. The Defense Procurement Procedure has now been titled as Defense Acquisition Procedure 2020. Moving on to the next question, consider the following statements regarding Genobots. Statement 1. Genobots are the world's first living self-healing robots created using stem cells. Statement 2. Genobots could be used to clean up radioactive waste, collect microplastics in the oceans and carry medicine inside human bodies. Which of the above statements are incorrect? Option A 1 only, option B 2 only, option C both 1 and 2, option D neither 1 or 2. The correct answer for this is option D, neither 1 nor 2, which means both the statements are correct. Scientists have created the world's first living self-healing robots using stem cells from frogs. named xenobots after the African clawed frogs from which they take their stem cells. Emissions are less than a millimeter wide, small enough to travel inside human bodies. They can walk and swim, survive for weeks without food, and work together in groups. These are entirely new life forms. Stem cells are unspecialized cells that have the ability to develop into different cell types. Xenobots even have self-healing capabilities. When the scientists sliced into one robot, it healed by itself and kept moving. Xenobots don't look like traditional robots. They have no shiny gears or robotic arms. Instead, they look more like a tiny blob of moving pink flesh. Xenobots could be used to clean up radioactive waste, collect microplastics in the oceans, carry medicine inside human bodies, or even travel into our arteries to scrape out plague. The xenobots can survive in aqueous environments without additional nutrients for days or weeks, making them suitable for internal drug delivery. So this is the end of today's video. Hope you liked the videos. So please like and share our video and subscribe to our channel for our upcoming videos. Thank you.